Hello and welcome to the Who the Fuck is in the Mirror podcast. I'm Angela Spooner, your host, emotional intelligence guide, trauma-informed coach, yoga instructor, confident, badass single mom of 3 amazing children, and founder of Unabashedly You. This podcast is all about using books, analogies, and metaphors to dive deep into who you really are to yourselves, not just as parents or some fictional version others made you out to be, right? But who the fuck you are. I want you to find your confidently badass, secure version of you that you lost along the way, or maybe you never even had in the first place because you were busy with everyone and everything else. Does that sound about right? So how about we get into the science of why we are a bunch of fucked up individuals who look in the mirror and don't even recognize the person that's staring back. Join me in the best journey you'll ever experience. Why, you may ask? Because it is the journey to transform your self-doubt, insecurity, and overall dysfunctional brain into self-aware, badass confidence and understanding. I hope you're as excited as I am because I cannot wait to get into this.
Welcome to the carnival. Welcome to
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Who the Fuck is in the Mirror? Okay. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's get fucking real today. All right. I was supposed to do something completely different today for my podcast, but as you guys know, shit happens. Life happens. Situations come, go, get chaotic as fuck. And you've got to improvise, right? The more you are willing to improvise, the more your mind can expand and think outside of the box. It's actually pretty surreal. So I literally was driving home and I was like, I don't know why I'm stressing about what I'm going to do for the podcast this week. I already know what needs to be said today. So I pulled over. I'm literally watching the sun set and the light, it's shining on the clouds. And I wish you guys could see this because it is fucking surreal. There's so many shades, pinks and oranges, and it's just pretty magnificent. I can't, takes my breath away. That being said, I need to talk about something today. So the other day, I was on TikTok, right? I've been trying to boost my TikTok and all the things, right? So I'm on TikTok and I'm just scrolling through, which I don't really do often. I usually just post my stuff, might see a couple of things just to, kind of communicate, socialize, whatever. But I'm not really big on just scrolling and scrolling, right? So I happened upon this TikTok from this girl that I don't think I've ever even seen before. Apparently, she was following me and I just kind of followed her back. So she starts talking about how she's pregnant and she said something's been rubbing her the wrong way. I'm like, okay, here we go. What do we got? So she starts talking about how she's been seeing other girls on TikTok, or I forgot if she was talking to friends that were pregnant or if she just saw them on TikTok. And she said that these girls are talking about wanting to have a drink once they're done being pregnant, right? They're like, I can't wait until after I have the baby, I can have a drink. So she starts talking about no judgment, right? Except that's the first thing that people fucking say before they say something super judgmental, right? They sit there and they're like, oh, no. I completely, no judgment, but you're a fucking slut. No, that's not what she said, but I'm just saying that's what people do. Not everybody. All right, let me explain more. And then you'll kind of get where my irritation's coming from. So she starts talking about how can these girls think that way? And then how she doesn't judge them, but she wants to be a good mom. Already, you are sending off the fucking wrong impression right here, girlfriend. You want to say that you're not judging them, and yet the first thing you talk about is how you want to be a good mom, and you're talking about them wanting to have a drink. Put the pieces together. Like, I don't think you understand how fucking rude you're being to these ladies, right? So I just continue listening, and she just keeps talking about how alcohol is horrible for you. It reminds me of those, like, when you go into church, and they would like 20, 30 years ago, I don't even know, but they would do like the whole fire and brimstone, and you're a horrible person, and you're, all the things that literally have pushed us away from churches over the years, right? And that's not to say that God is horrible or religion is horrible. I believe in God. What I mean is that the problem doesn't lie in this whole thing is horrible. These people are horrible. These are behaviors. These are not the people. So I never do this, but I commented and I told her, hey, I just want you to know it might seem a little off-putting that you're sitting there and you're saying, oh, yes, no judgment, but also that shit is horrible. And why would you want to do that after you have a baby? And that's horrible to think that way after having a baby, right? And I was like, you come across as judgmental. I know that's not what you're trying to say, but I'm just letting you know, like, I'm not fucking pregnant. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. And I know who I am. So I don't really give a shit, I don't really drink. But if I did drink, it would be none of her fucking business, right? So I'm telling her, look, I'm just trying to tell you because I know you're trying to, get the word out there, but maybe try to say it in a kinder way, right? Here's the problem. People don't like to be told that they need to do things differently, right? They don't like learning. No, I'm fucking right all the time. Okay, all right. So she's like, no, this was super nice. I was being super nice and it was meant with a wonderful spirit. I was like, I don't know of any woman or man that is going to listen to this and say, you know what? You're absolutely right. Alcohol is bad for me. Thank you so much for telling me, because I never would have fucking known that alcohol, one of the biggest things that they talk about for depression, is bad for me without you telling me. That's like coming up to me and saying, hey, by the way, like, you know that those coping skills that you used are bad for you? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. They're called coping skills for a reason, right? So I tried talking to her, which, maybe I shouldn't have tried, but in my mind, it just really irked me because it really did remind me of when I was trying to heal, but I did have bad coping skills, so I was trying to heal. I would try to do like breath work, or I'd try to work out, or I tried to go to meetings, like different kinds of meetings, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck, like, do I have a drinking problem? Do I have, a drug addiction? Like, I wasn't even into drugs, but I was like, oh, well, after my baby died, my baby that died in my arms and his brain came out of his skull, after he died, yeah, I was fucking into pills, you know? And you could not tell me for anything. You could not walk up to me and tell me, hey, that's bad for you. I think people fucking know that. They know. But that pain that they're experiencing inside, and that's what I tried to tell her. I said, that pain that those people are experiencing, that is the only way they know how to cope. So if you want to reach them, don't reach their behavior, reach who they are as a person. Those are behaviors. That is not what defines them as good, bad, happy, sad. But I was actually pretty nice, honestly. Like, I mean, and, you know, I actually was nice. I know I can be really raw and pretty, you know, no filter, but I was actually pretty nice to her because I don't want to hurt her feelings and I don't want to degrade her in any way. It's just you don't know, right? Like sometimes when you say stuff, you don't know how you're affecting people. And so sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I say stuff and I know I say stuff and people it rubs them the wrong way and it makes them feel some type of way, right? And I know that a lot of times it's because of their own shit that they're dealing with. But sometimes it's because I was not being sensitive to anything else. I was like, no, I'm going to do this, especially before I was healing. I would say stuff just to piss people off. Like it was a game for me to hurt someone's feelings. Like I got points or something, you know? I thought it was cool. And then people would make jokes about like, oh man, you're so cutthroat. You're so badass. You're just so fucking real. And I look back at it now and I'm like, yeah, those people that were saying that to you, where are they at currently? They don't even want to talk to you because you start talking about mental health and they're like, fuck you, right? And you're like, okay, this is why we work on ourselves. So I actually posted a whole fucking TikTok, not about her, but I posted a TikTok about just talking about people in general. Okay. I was like, I know we all sit there because I had just done an event that day and I was a vendor at an event and I got a lot of, you know, oh, well, my friend could use your program. My friend could use your app. Oh, my wife, my ex-wife. Ooh, that one's a big one. My ex-wife, my ex-girlfriend needs this, right? Because it's so fucking easy to look at everybody else's faults and flaws than to look at the fucking plank in your own damn eye. You can sit there and say that girl's a fucking slut for sucking that guy's dick. But what you don't know is that girl has no love for herself. And nobody has taken the time. And it hurts me. It sucks sometimes having fucking empathy. Like, I was always shamed when I was younger for being so empathetic. Like, I remember when I was working for these like nonprofit, right? And we would do like missionary work and stuff. It was when I was really, really young. And I was trying to do their year off. Is called their year of dedication, right? It was YOD. So it's year of dedication. And you're just going out there and you're basically like helping anybody and everybody you possibly can. Okay. And you take a year off from school to do this. So the guy that's running it tells me that I'm not good enough and that I don't love Jesus enough. Who says that to someone? So then I'm telling people and I'm so frustrated, right? And everybody just looked at me and said, maybe God has another purpose. How fucked up is today's society that nobody seems to want to fight for fucking anything? That right there is why I get emotional. We all want to point at people's behaviors, but we can't see the pain. I mean, hell, my ex-husband did unimaginable things to me. And I can't tell you that I honestly am at a place anymore where I wish he was dead. I see him as somebody that hurts so fucking badly. And if you have ever made a mistake in your life, it's going to haunt you, right? You make that mistake and then people blast it out about you making that mistake. Or they judge you for every single thing you did. Do you know how I finally was able to take control of my life, my behaviors, my patterns? I mean, yeah, nobody's perfect. I still have my shit. But I finally know who I am. Do you know that the one thing was that I had to find it out in my own time? I had to see myself as a human being and not as a problem. I had to see myself as loved and respected, not as all the mistakes that I've made. Hey, you wonderful, sexy, beautiful, badass woman or man. We interrupt this wonderful podcast episode by yours truly, Angela, to let you know about my membership to Unabashedly You. This app I created for you. This is not an average app, a coaching app. This is not just a yoga app. This is Unabashedly You on Apple and Google. Live, motherfuckers. You know what I'm talking about? We are talking about confidence, empowerment, learning about yourself, becoming more self-aware than you ever thought you could be. Moving through it with yoga, meditation, mindfulness, breath work. We are talking about the whole shebang. I have my 6 videos that I created in my 6-week challenge as my crash course videos. So you watch them whenever you have time, anytime. You don't have to watch them right away. I have live coaching calls every other week where we just get you connected with your body. We talk about the content that you have gone over. We do some self-awareness. I also have prompts twice a week. These prompts are super quick. It's literally just prompting you to open out of your shell and actually take more action. So, like my last prompt was literally go outside and do something like a child. Be playful. Be curious about it. These are the kinds of things that we do at Unabashedly You to make you feel like you are the most badass, confident woman that you know. I'm not here to validate you. I'm here to teach you how to validate your fucking self. How to own every single part of you. And if you've already been on this journey for a while and you're like, actually, I'm good. This is to help you help others also. Because anybody that has been through anything or has wanted to grow in any way, shape, or form, as you grow, I have not ever met somebody that didn't want to help somebody else feel the same way. That's what this app is for. It is for a community of badass women. And eventually, I want to have a brick and mortar so that women can come there when they need to, when they just need to get the fuck away, right? And just hang out and just be sociable. And there's a whole area for kids where the kids can do their own mindfulness exercises. I'm talking, this is golden shit. You get a 7-day free trial, so you can literally try before you buy. Just try it out. See how you like it. If you don't like it, you can cancel at any time. And it's affordable. It's like $13 a week, roughly. It's $49.99 a month. Take some action. Show you that you are worth it. Now enjoy the rest of the episode. Mwah. Love you. Not as all the times that I hurt people, you know? And so let me finish my story, right? Because you guys are like, God, stop crying. I'm just kidding. I don't really give a shit if you care. I'm allowed to cry, right? Right. Exactly. That was me validating my own feelings, guys. So just let it happen. So I go and I post that, right? And I also talked about my own experiences. And I actually, do you know how fucking wild it is? I actually have not been opening up on my social media. I'll talk about how I have 15 years of trauma, but I don't really talk about my actual trauma. And I went on there and I was like, people have different coping mechanisms. You cannot sit there and just tell them that they're horrible or that their behaviors are horrible. They're not going to fucking listen to that. You know, we'll talk about chapter 7 for The Body Keeps a Score, but it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear that chapter. It is about children and their traumas and their behavior patterns. Children grow up, you know, and it hurts to hear some of the things that they have experienced and the way that they act about it now. So dark, you know, because they don't have anything. Why do you think I do what I do? I'm not making shit for money. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because I hit a wall. I hit a wall and I didn't know if I was going to pull out of it. And I watch a lot of these coaches, right, on social media and the stuff that they say. And I'm like, just be real for a second, you know? Stop asking. I know, like, when you're promoting yourself and stuff, you got to ask, like, how are you feeling about this? Do you ever feel this way? Be fucking real. Talk about your own shit, your own feelings about things, your pains. Talk about how hard it is to wake up every day and hear people's shit and just hurt for them. I don't ever want to numb that. I don't ever want to numb my feelings that I have for someone else because I have this empathy that overwhelms my body, overwhelms me. I see the person. And so I put that post up. I have no clue if she watched it or not. A couple days later, she posts on TikTok. And again, it was kind of the same thing. Like, I was like, I was sitting there trying to find like questions, most common questions or concerns that people have on TikTok, so I can kind of reach people where they're at, and just get to know my audience more. Because I just want to get to know people. I don't want to just sell you shit. Like, no, I want to help people feel fucking amazing about themselves and be literally unabashedly them. Who gives a fuck what anybody else thinks, right? Who gives a shit about anybody else's thoughts on you? If you know that what you are doing is the most important thing in your life, nobody else's opinions matter. But the moment that you are constantly thinking about that person or about other people or about their patterns, and you're like, ooh, look at that person doing that. That moment is when you need to reevaluate. Because what does this girl do? Let me tell you something. Let me holler at you a minute. Let me tell you something. She posts on it, and at first she apologizes, which I was like, oh shit. Like, good job, girl, right? So like I click on the comment thing and I'm like about to comment, and I start typing like, hey, that's really awesome that you can like own up, that you could have come across, right? No, bitch. No. She says, sorry. Have you ever had somebody tell you, I'm sorry, and then right afterwards, they start degrading and they start justifying, and you're just like, what the fuck was the point of you even apologizing, bro? So she says, I'm sorry if it offended anybody. She was like, also, if you were commenting on it, you were obviously triggered. Yeah, I was. I'll be fucking woman enough to say that. I was triggered up by it, but not from me. I was triggered because I thought about all those women out there that you just fucking offended, right? And then she goes on there and she's like, yeah, I don't know why anybody's going on there, and I don't go on your stuff and comment. No, you just post it for the whole fucking world to see, right? You just posted on social media that these fucking girls that are that are pregnant, that they're fucking horrible moms for wanting to have a drink when they had, like, just because you had a problem, because she continued on to say, well, I did have a drinking problem. Okay, but that is your fucking reality. That is your addiction. So to sit there and say that this is bad for everyone, everybody knows that. People know cheeseburgers are bad. People know that that cigarettes are bad. I mean, hell, marijuana burns up your brain cells 10 times as fast. I mean, people know things, but they have their own ways of coping, and they are on their own path and level. To sit there and tell them, you are doing wrong, you need to stop this, that's not going to reach anyone. Because that's exactly what she did. She went on a whole rant. There's a car that just drove by me. See, I told you I'm doing real raw right now. It's raining on me too, but I'm not rolling these windows up. It's way too musty for that. But to sit there and just continue over and over. I didn't even respond to her, by the way. I didn't even post anything. I was like I was just trying to help you out, bro. But like I said, some people just don't want to learn shit. When people tell me stuff, I still have to sit there. I'm like, fuck, did I do that? Angela, when you said this happened, or, when you were doing this, I'm like, oh shit. Like when my daughter told me, like, Mom, I'm like, why are you being such a like bitch, And she's like, yeah, I learned it from you. I'm like, oh, if we are not continually learning and growing, then what the fuck are we doing? Can you honestly sit there and tell yourself in the mirror, I am okay with who I am? These are the things that I push to my clients, to my followers, to my children in relationships. This is what I push. Love yourself and focus on your fucking self. And if you want to help someone, help them to love themselves and accept themselves. Because once you love and accept yourself, you want to do stuff that is healthy for you. You want to have better patterns and behaviors and better coping mechanisms. You want to do these things because you know it's good for your body and your body deserves it. How many times do you sit there and say, or I sit there and say, oh, I'm going to do this for someone else, right? Because they really need it. You move your whole schedule around for this person, right? And then they flake on you, right? And this is not calling out anybody in particular, to be clear. I'm just talking about in general, right? You have somebody flake on you and then they want to reschedule. You're like, okay, right? But how many times do you do that with yourself? How many times do you excuse yourself for not being perfect? I believe judging anyone. I was going to say judgment and then it turned judging anyone, so it sounded weird. Anyway, I believe judgment on anyone is how people no longer want to learn. Don't judge them. Love them. Accept. You don't have to be in their world. If you're in a bad relationship and they're treating you badly, they're not talking to you kindly, they're doing hurtful things to you, yeah, you can try communicating, but if that doesn't work, you come first. You cannot help someone when you yourself are not in a capacity to help. And if you are being degraded by someone, how can you love anybody else when you are in a state of dysregulation? I know we kind of got off topic, but it does apply. It does apply. You know why? Because the only person that you need to convince is yourself. Your behaviors shine out whether you like it or not. People are always watching. They're watching the good stuff. They're watching the bad stuff. They're watching when you aren't watching. They're waiting till you're not watching. People are always going to judge you. My heart goes out to each and every person that is afraid of letting themselves love themselves, that is afraid of being vulnerable. Stop gaslighting yourself. I know we all do it. We always gaslight ourselves. But I make the biggest effort. I have been working my ass off on trying to not gaslight myself. It is fucking hard to not gaslight yourself when you're starting a business. Let me tell you what. It is hard to sit there and stand up for what you believe in and to stand up in a podcast every week and speak out there and not even know if anybody's going to listen or if anybody's going to give a shit, to post on fucking social media and never know if anybody is ever going to take you seriously. I am 5'1 3/4" blonde little thing. You know how hard it is to get people to listen to that? They're like, oh, she's so adorable. Oh my gosh, it's like seeing that little bunny, you know? Nobody takes me seriously. What is that from? Is that Zootopia? I forgot what it is. I think it's Zootopia where there's a little creature and like he's all pissed off. Nobody takes him seriously. I think it's a bunny. I don't know. If you guys know, let me know. But I digress. Seriously, though, can we just please pump the brakes on telling everybody else what they need to be doing and what they need to not be doing with their behaviors? Can we just for one fucking second not try to find all the faults in that beautiful woman because we have our own insecurities and the thought of seeing that beautiful woman succeed makes us sick? Can we for once not look at that handsome man and think he's probably fucking everyone? Can we for once say those things that make people uncomfortable? I'm not talking about telling them they need to stop drinking. I'm talking about when they start talking shit about somebody, which I had like a week and a half ago. This guy just randomly comes up to my booth and just tells me all the things about his ex-wife and how horrible she was. And the whole time in my head, I just kept wondering, when was the last time you just hugged yourself? We focus so much on the pain that everybody else has caused us. And we blame it on the alcohol. Yeah, I did that. We blame it on, drugs, and we blame it on all these things. When the fuck do we get to sit there and hug our fucking selves and just think about ourselves? Take everybody else out of the equation and just sit there and say, Angela, not you guys, okay? I'm saying Angela. If your name is Angela, you can say Angela. But me, this is me doing it. Angela, your feelings fucking matter. Angela, your situations did not define who you are. You define who you are as a person because you are a human being. Your worth is not valued at what you do, but who you are. Angela, I fucking love you. Angela, I am so sorry that I let you numb all your hurt and all your pain. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. When the fuck are you guys going to do that? When are you going to do it for yourself? Make things uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable. Be you. Be real. And I fucking love you all. Peace.